Hey guys, welcome back to the range. I was getting ready to, I just shot some videos for you guys, and I was getting ready to get out on the course with the GS17 and on the Overland Course, and I realized I've got a much better thing I need to try. And here's why I'm going to do it with just handgun. Recently, I received this target right here. This is the PT Tactical Torso from Action Target. You can see. All right, here's how it works. It's 1-2 chest, 1 in the neck. I'm at roughly 3 yards, and that is a shot that I had difficulty doing straight on demand, which is what I just did. The 4x6, frankly, is not even that hard, because I routinely shoot these 6-inch lollipops painted down the middle with white, so I'm only shooting at the white and swinging the target up, and you can see where that shot went. So I routinely do this. This is not that hard. Where it becomes interesting is trying to get that teeny tiny little hole, or trying to get around through that teeny tiny little hole under stress. That's why it's crucial to have the bing bing of the 4x6 and then the pop dead center. Because those first 2 rounds, if you're not truly focusing and paying attention, those first 2 rounds make you go, wee, I got this. And then all of a sudden you've got to get around through an inverted triangle. Why inverted triangle? Because by inverting that triangle, it is isolating your ability to go straight back with your trigger versus doing this. And if we are more focused on time rather than accuracy, which unfortunately is the case nowadays, you will end up yanking and you end up doing that. Because I was pushing the timer. Because remember, that shot timer is pushing you. So in just a few days worth of working with this target, I have really noticed there's been an increase in my accuracy. Also, the other thing that I did was I came out here the other day and I put this slide onto my GS17, got all hunkered down, isolated all motion, 6 points of contact with the GS17, and found that I'd left some accuracy on the table when I put this RMR on. I have witness marks on it, so I know that the optic is not moving, and I know that the issue was actually me. I had left accuracy on the table because I had basically isolated myself as best I could by leaning across the table, a wool blanket over my brass bucket, and then a shooter sock beanbag on the back. But still, there's a little bit of wobble. With the GS17, all wobble was taken out, and I was able to basically, quite literally, stack round on top of round at 10 yards. So I now know that this gun is dialed in, and I'm kind of curious how it'll do when I get it up on the Overland Course. So let's get to it. All right, guys, I'm ready to go, and I wanted to show you something before we take off. Right now, I have 18 rounds in my Glock 17, but I actually have 46 rounds in reserve, and you're probably wondering where they are, right? There's nothing tactical, overt, and by the way, those are not bullets, those are pine trees. This is a performance fishing gear ball cap. Fishing gear, okay? I show this every once in a while so people understand one of the things that you can do to really hide in plain sight. These are a pair of Urban Star or something like that. They're a bargain pair of jeans. I sew up the back pockets on the jeans, and it holds 21 round P-mags, the GL9 mag pulls, and I have 1, 2, 3. I could have 4 if I were to move my wallet, which is basically bicycle inner tube with my cards in the middle. So I could actually have a 4th mag back there if I wanted to. It'll also accommodate 27 rounders quite easily. And so the point that I'm getting at is this: you have the ability to have a bunch of ammunition on your person and hide in plain sight if you really felt the need to. So this is how I'm running the drill. Or this is, yeah, well, it's a skill drill, not really a tactical drill. But let's go before it starts raining. I'm going to try to keep a pretty good pace because what I'm after in doing this is cardio. As you guys have heard me say before, it's 2 tries per target, no more than 2 tries. So if I hit, great. If I miss, too bad. It's 2 tries per target. Wow. Those are really good. It is interesting because the other day, I told you this already, I came out here, got myself completely isolated motion-wise using the GS17 and retuned this optic, this RMR 04 7 MOA dot, fiber optics driven, and dude, it delivered, as you just saw. It delivered the accuracy. Good mechanics does the rest. Let's do freestanding, probably about 50 or 60 yards. Center high in the chest. I love it. No joke, guys, all because of that one little target. That target has so forced me to focus on the body mechanics of straight back on that trigger pull. It has changed the level of accuracy that I can now deliver with a handgun. It is said that practice makes perfect, but I've been very fortunate to train with men who have taught me perfect practice makes perfect. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. So understand that what that means is if you're practicing, but you're practicing in error, you're basically solidifying all kinds of bad body mechanics and everything else. But if you're practicing slowly and with accuracy, you're actually going to have a lot more accuracy in the end run. That shot felt so casual now. And the first day I got that target out, I remember going, how in the hell am I ever going to deliver that shot under stress? But I was out here the other day with a friend of mine. We were talking about church security, and that target down there, I shot from way over there, which is roughly 80 yards. I looked at it and nailed it. And he's like, wait, what? And that's with training ammo. It's not even, you know, fighting ammo, that's training ammo. So guys, it is doable. That's a miss. That's a hit. I might have split the round on the edge, I don't know. I really need to be a little closer to those targets when I shoot at them. Because shooting at targets from... Did I miss something? No, I don't think so. Shooting at targets from far distances isn't very realistic. And I've got to be getting close to empty now. Unlike usual, I'm just going to go ahead and run the gun to lock back each and every time. Now, how in the hell did I... Oh, you know what? I probably didn't have one in the chamber. That's funny. Could have sworn I had 18 in there. Oh well. By the way, guys, I was talking about re-zeroing or verifying your zero on your optics. Do that every once in a while. I think you'll be surprised. Definitely get your gun out and verify that your zero hasn't shifted. Most especially if you're running a aftermarket type optic. Because remember, where some of these optics are coming from, they're coming from places in the world where they don't have a vested interest in the United States of America. So what I'm getting at is you're not going to have excellence of the product like you will with Trijicon, which is a United States military contractor. This hill, that's probably 360-ish yards to the Forerunner. That's a seriously steep hill, and it's a lot easier when you're not wearing a bunch of tactical crap. By the way, what you can't see right now, my left hand is grabbing a magazine from my left rear pocket and passing it to my right rear pocket outside edge, because my hands are accustomed to loading this way. So set yourself up for success. First one was on the edge, second one was dead center. I'm still yanking that trigger just a little bit. I need to start getting out here with the 4Runner and driving over this before it starts trying to grow back up again. There truly is something to being outdoors in fresh air and sunshine, doing something you love. Dead center. Right beside it. I remember coming out here in the past and missing, and then I'd get a hit with handgun because I was so accustomed to rifle. And then I set aside the rifle, and for the last couple of months it has been quite literally, very strictly handgun only. Funny thing is, my watch was like, hey, you want me to track this walk? No, not really, because I already know that this course is about 1.5 miles if I were to actually go all the way to the bottom. I routinely do this with all my gear on with rifle. And it's so funny to be able to do this quickly with just handgun. When we cut this trail, I knew I'd end up with a lot of divots everywhere, and I was okay with that because I wanted this to be a true overland course where you have to learn how to meander around and avoid certain things. You can tell which ones are which. Fresh. My watch so badly wants to track my hike. Please let me track it, please. Nope. Don't need it, don't care. I've completely discontinued that whole closing of the rings thing on my Apple Watch. It's driving me batty. Time to stand up. Time to move around. Shut up. Move around all the time. I jokingly say to people, I'm CEO of Tier 1 Citizen. For me, that stands Chief Everything Officer, because I do everything at Tier 1 Citizen. There's not a single thing that I farm out to anybody else. I do it all. Production, packaging, supply ordering, rounds are touching each other. Production, packaging, shipping, keeping track of inventory, keeping track of components, designing, graphics, shooting video, obviously, producing video, and on and on and on and on. I take care of everything, and I like it that way. Gotta say, look at that. Didn't even try. New. You can tell because they're fresh, they're still silver. These are all oxidized now. That little target from Action Target has so dialed me in on what my hands are doing on the handgun that now I'm able to look at things from a distance. Because remember, when you're shooting at a 3-inch triangle from 3 yards, an 18-inch target from 25 yards ceases to be any kind of a challenge to you because it's massive. Look at it. I still try to get realistic, you know. I try to put the target about right here before I start popping rounds at it. Yep. See the black rounds in the middle? Everything else is brown and oxidized. Perfect practice makes, that's right, perfect. And I'm out here hiking at a decent clip, so I'm keeping my cardiovascular system up and moving quickly, which is going to simulate having to take a shot under stress. I've got to be careful how quickly I move because this is very mushy and I could end up taking a spill. Years ago, I cracked my tailbone on a cruise. I was on the wave rider and I got up on the surfboard. Was doing fairly well until I stopped looking at the bar at the end and looked at my kids and I said, "You can do this!" And then I lost my balance and fell. 2 shots touching each other. Anyways, cracked my tailbone. When I fell, I didn't crack it then, I fell, and the wave, the jets rolled me along the waveform and then dumped me over the back end of it, where that steel grate is. It takes the water and recycles it back into the jet system. And that steel grate is rock solid steel. And I remember in all that cacophony of noise, I actually heard in my ears crunch because of the spinal fluid passing the sound up. And I'm like, yeah, that's gonna hurt. And of course it didn't hurt right then. And over the next hour or so, as the adrenaline wore off, it began to hurt really, really bad. And it took years for that to resolve. And even still, I get a little bit of a twinge if I spend too much time sitting on a hard surface. So when I'm walking on varied terrain, I'm really careful. I'm impressed this battery has kept up. What you guys don't realize is I've not shut the camera off a single time. You guys are seeing edits because I'm saving you guys having to watch as I walk through large expanses of distance, but this camera's been running non-stop. Probably because it's still not fully summer out here. If it were, the camera would be shutting off from the heat. Ooh, that gun is getting hot. Last mag going from left to right. Each and every time it's shoot, return to the holster. All right, final shot is going to be this target again. My heart rate's pretty high because I've been maintaining this tempo. Oh, sweet. Sweet, let's do that again. Ah! Right there. Here's the deal about that. This is the neck. Okay, this is the neck. Imagine you've just gone chest, upper torso, neck area on somebody. They're no longer thinking about fighting you. Oh man, that was good. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming out. I love to shoot. I love sharing the passion of shooting and the art form that is the accurate delivery of projectiles on bad guys. I had a couple friends out here recently that had never been here before. And we were running drills and one of them was like, man, I didn't realize how much there is to shooting accurately. Yeah, that's what I'm always preaching on this channel. I'm like constantly just beating that horse. And I want to make sure that people understand shooting accurately. Someone always gets in the comment section and says, oh, well, you know what? It's easy to shoot accurately when the targets aren't shooting back at you. Shut up. Hot Pockets, shut up. And yet, they will watch easily half a dozen channels that just popped into my head where people are doing the same exact thing. Half the time, you don't even see what they're shooting at. The other half of the time, you see what they're shooting at, and the hits aren't even all that great because they're doing what I call high-speed shooting. This requires work and dedication. This requires time. Good Lord, that gun is hot. Whew, man. That gun is legit hot. It bears noting, this is a plain Jane Glock 17 internally. What I'm getting at is internally. The only thing internal on this gun that's been, like, you know, pimped out is the connector. And that's a Zev V4, which I really wish I could find, but they've been out of production for several years now. Everything else about that gun mechanically is stock. I had the custom deluxe carry package, or I think it's called custom deluxe carry package from Aim Surplus done on it. And then of course the slide was done by Doug Presson. But for all intents and purposes, it's pretty much a stock Glock. I like things to be stock because I like things to work when I ask them to work, which is why I drive a Toyota, which is why I shoot Glocks. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for supporting me at tier1citizen.com. As always, God bless you all. Get those guns out and practice. Have a good one.